Get ready, because today we're unlocking a secret weapon.
Oh, yeah. A secret weapon you might not even realize you have.
That's right.
It's the compound effect.
It is. And you know what I love about this idea?
What's that?
It's not about some overnight miracle.
No.
It's not about some grand gesture.
It's really not.
Today's deep dive
Is all about how those tiny, almost invisible choices
the ones you make every single day
can add up.
to huge results over time.
Huge results, for better or worse.
And we're exploring The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Oh, this book is so fascinating.
I know, it's packed with insights.
It can change how you approach
Pretty much everything.
everything, absolutely.
It's like Hardy says.
You are the sum of your daily choices.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
It's not the big splashy moments that define your life.
No, it's these seemingly insignificant decisions.
The ones you make every single day.
Every single day, that's what matters.
Okay, so that has me thinking
What's that?
about all the times that I hit the snooze button. Instead of going for that morning run,
Yeah,
I mean, one missed workout,
no big deal.
right?
Not a big deal, right?
It's easy to think that way.
Yeah.
But Hardy uses a brilliant analogy in the book.
Oh, tell me about it.
A plane that veers off course
Okay.
by just 2 millimeters.
2 millimeters.
A tiny shift.
Yeah.
Seems inconsequential in the moment,
Right.
but over a long flight
Oh, no.
can land you hundreds of miles
Whoa.
from your intended destination.
So even those minor choices, like grabbing a donut instead of a piece of fruit,
It can have a huge cumulative impact.
on our lives.
Precisely each choice, no matter how small, sets us on a trajectory.
So if we're consistently making those positive choices,
The compound effect works for you.
pushing us towards our goals.
But if you're indulging
oh,
in those negative choices,
the little ones.
even the seemingly insignificant ones,
Yeah.
they can compound.
Into major setbacks.
That's right.
So it's really not about making these big sweeping changes all at once. It's about consistently making good choices,
Even when they seem tiny.
even when they seem insignificant.
Exactly.
It's not about perfection.
Okay.
It's about making slightly better choices,
More often.
more often than not.
Okay. I like that.
Those seemingly insignificant decisions compound over time,
Okay.
and they create a vastly different future.
I am definitely rethinking my snooze button habit now.
Good.
But what about all those factors outside of our control?
What do you mean?
Like, how can we harness the compound effect
Okay.
when things like a bad economy
Yeah.
or unexpected challenges
Yeah, those curveballs.
throw us off course?
That's where the concept of taking responsibility comes in.
Okay.
Hardy's a big believer
Okay.
in taking 100% responsibility for your life,
Okay.
your choices and your outcomes.
So instead of saying,
Yeah.
I didn't get the promotion because my boss doesn't like me,
Right.
I should be looking at what I could have done differently.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not about ignoring external factors, but rather focusing on what you can control.
So it's about recognizing
Yeah.
that even when things happen that are outside of our control,
Uh-huh.
we still have the power to choose how we respond.
Precisely. And that brings us to another fascinating concept that Hardy explores,
Ooh, what's that?
the myth of luck.
So you mean it's not all about random chance
No.
finding four-leaf clovers
Yeah.
and winning the lottery?
Not just that.
Okay.
Hardy argues that luck is not some mystical force.
Okay.
It's something we can actively cultivate.
Oh.
He introduces the complete formula for getting lucky,
Okay, I'm listening.
which involves 4 key elements:
Lay it on me.
preparation, attitude,
Yeah.
opportunity, and action.
Break it down for me.
Preparation involves continually improving your skills, your knowledge, and your resources.
So when opportunity knocks, you're ready.
Exactly. Attitude is about seeing the positive in every situation
Okay.
and believing in your ability to succeed.
I like that.
Opportunity refers to those moments when favorable circumstances present themselves. And action is about taking decisive steps to capitalize on those opportunities.
So it's not just about being in the right place at the right time.
It's about creating the right place and being ready to seize the moment
I love that. And this formula is something we can apply.
in any area of your life.
Career, relationships, personal development.
Absolutely.
Hardy even quotes Richard Branson,
He does.
who said, "The difference is when luck came my way, I took advantage of it."
Powerful stuff.
So how can we put this luck formula into practice?
One of his key recommendations is tracking your progress.
Why is tracking so crucial for harnessing the compound effect?
It brings awareness to your choices and your patterns,
Okay.
helping you identify those seemingly insignificant actions that are adding up over time.
So if you're not paying attention to what you're doing,
Yeah,
it's hard to make any real changes.
that's right. Are we talking about tracking things like our finances,
Fitness goals.
maybe even how much time you spend on social media?
I need to track that.
Tracking gives you valuable data that you can use to adjust your course and make sure your daily actions are aligned with your long-term goals,
So it's about taking control of your choices.
instead of letting them control you.
I'm convinced tracking is key, but how do we actually break free from those ingrained bad habits
How do we do it?
and start building new positive ones?
Well, Hardy talks about the instant gratification trap.
What is that?
He explains that we're wired to seek pleasure
Okay.
and avoid pain in the moment,
Okay.
even if it means sacrificing long-term gains.
That's the trap.
That's the trap we need to learn to escape
If we want to install those healthier
if
habits.
we want to get that compound effect working for us.
So how do we outsmart our brains?
How do we do it?
Stop falling for that instant gratification.
He offers a range of practical strategies.
That's what I want to hear.
But one of the key takeaways is that building good habits is an ongoing process,
Okay.
and you have the power to make it happen.
That's what I want to hear. So we talked about the power of tracking to become more aware of our choices.
Right, right.
But how do we actually break free from those bad habits?
The ones that are holding us back.
Yeah, and start building good ones.
It's tough.
It is.
Well, one of the things Hardy emphasizes is the importance of our environment.
Okay.
And not just our physical environment,
Oh.
but our social and information environments as well.
So it's not just about cleaning out the pantry.
And hiding the junk food.
Exactly. It's also about who you spend time with and what you're filling your mind with,
Exactly. You're constantly being influenced by your surroundings.
whether you realize it or not.
If you're surrounded by people who are always negative and complaining,
Yeah.
you're more likely to adopt those same habits.
That makes total sense. You know that saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
It's so
So
true.
that's a great example. And the same goes for the information you consume.
Oh, yeah.
If you're constantly bombarded with negative news,
Social media drama.
it can really drag you down.
Absolutely.
So what can we do about it?
What can we do?
How do we start shaping our environment to support our goals?
Well, it starts with awareness.
Okay.
Take an honest look at your surroundings and ask yourself,
Okay.
who are the most positive, supportive people in my life?
Yeah.
How can I spend more time with them?
And are there any negative influences that we need to distance ourselves from?
Maybe it's time to unfollow those social media accounts that are constantly triggering you.
Or limit our exposure to the news?
That's a great point. Sometimes we don't even realize how much those negative influences are affecting us.
Until we step away from them.
Absolutely. And remember, you have the power to choose your environment.
We do.
You're not stuck with what you've inherited or unconsciously created,
This is making me think about the concept of raising your standards.
which Hardy also talks about in the book.
He does.
He highlights the principle that you get in life what you tolerate.
If you settle for mediocrity,
That's what you'll get.
that's what you get. But if you raise your standards,
You elevate your results.
so it's not just about trying harder.
It's about deciding what you're willing to accept in your life.
And then taking action to align your reality with your values.
Exactly what areas of your life are you currently tolerating less than you deserve?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Maybe it's a job that doesn't fulfill you or a relationship that's draining your energy.
Or even just clutter in your home that's stressing you out.
We've all been there.
We have.
The key is to stop tolerating those things and set a higher bar for yourself.
Okay.
Once you raise your standards, you'll be amazed at how everything else starts to shift.
Really?
The right opportunities will appear, the right people will come into your life.
And you'll naturally start making choices that support your higher vision for yourself. It's almost like raising your standards creates a ripple effect.
Attracting better experiences and opportunities.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And it leads us to another powerful concept that Hardy explores, going beyond the expected.
I love that idea.
Me too. It's about exceeding expectations, not just meeting them.
Precisely. It's about doing more than what's required, going the extra mile, and surprising people with your generosity and thoughtfulness.
This reminds me of the story Hardy tells about Oprah surprising her entire audience with cars.
A classic example of exceeding expectations in a big way.
It is. So you're saying that going above and beyond doesn't just benefit the person you're doing it for.
Uh-huh.
It also benefits you by enhancing your reputation and creating positive energy that spreads outward.
Exactly. Think about it. When someone goes above and beyond for you, how does it make you feel?
It definitely makes you feel valued, appreciated, and even inspired to pay it forward. But it also makes me wonder, how do we balance this striving for excellence with also taking care of ourselves and avoiding burnout?
That's a really important point.
It is.
Hardy emphasizes the need to build white space into our lives.
White space.
Those moments of rest, reflection, and rejuvenation that allow us to recharge and reconnect with ourselves.
So it's not just about constantly pushing ourselves to do more.
It's also about knowing when to slow down and take a break.
It's about finding that balance between striving for excellence and savoring the present moment.
Yes, the compound effect is not just about achieving external success.
Right.
It's also about cultivating inner peace, joy, and fulfillment.
Okay, so we've explored a lot of powerful principles here. The influence of our environment, raising our standards, exceeding expectations, and finding balance. But how do we start putting all of this into action? What are some practical strategies we can use to harness the compound effect in our daily lives?
That's a great question, and one we'll dive into right after a quick break. Stay tuned for more insights on how to make those seemingly small choices that lead to extraordinary results.
Okay, so we're back and ready to put all these incredible insights into action.
Let's do it.
We've talked about shaping our environment,
Yeah.
raising our standards,
Right.
going above and beyond, and
Yeah.
finding that balance.
Absolutely.
But how do we create lasting change?
How do we make sure we're not just getting all excited about these ideas, but actually implementing them?
Yeah, how do we make them stick?
Well, that's where the concept of momentum math comes in.
Momentum math.
Hardy emphasizes that small, consistent actions,
Okay.
when repeated over time,
Yeah.
can create exponential results,
So those tiny actions can lead to massive results.
like a snowball effect.
I like that.
It starts small, but it gains momentum as it rolls downhill, becoming bigger and more powerful.
That makes change feel less daunting.
It's not about making a huge leap all at once.
Right.
It's about taking small steps consistently.
Okay. And one of the best ways to create consistency is to establish systems and routines.
To support those actions,
Yeah.
Hardy calls these rhythms.
Rhythms.
Daily, weekly, or even monthly practices
Okay.
that help you stay on track.
So a daily rhythm could be something like reading for 30 minutes before bed,
Or meditating for 10 minutes each morning
right? And a weekly rhythm might be reviewing your goals.
and planning your week ahead.
I love the idea of creating these rhythms. It's like establishing a heartbeat for success.
A steady pulse that keeps you moving forward.
But how do we make sure we're actually sticking to these rhythms?
Yeah, and that they're having the intended effect.
That's where tracking comes back in.
Hardy's a big believer in measuring your progress, so you can see what's working, what's not, and make adjustments along the way.
So it's like having a personal trainer for your success habits.
You track your workouts, your nutrition, and your progress to make sure you're moving in the right direction.
But what about when we hit those roadblocks or feel stuck?
Who can we turn to for support and guidance?
Yeah.
Well, Hardy talks about the importance of finding mentors and role models.
People who are already living the kind of life we aspire to.
He calls this the power of expanded associations.
Okay.
It's about surrounding yourself with people who inspire and challenge you to grow.
So if you want to be a successful entrepreneur,
Find mentors who have built thriving businesses.
and if you want to be a better writer,
Connect with other writers who can offer feedback and support.
and it's not just about passively observing them,
No, it's about actively engaging with them.
asking questions, seeking advice, and learning from their experiences.
Exactly.
This reminds me of the story Hardy shares about how he used to drive to a different town just to have brunch at a restaurant where successful people hung out.
He wasn't just hoping to bump into someone inspiring.
He was intentionally putting himself in an environment where he was more likely to connect with people who could help him grow.
And it paid off for him. He ended up meeting some of his most influential mentors at that restaurant.
It shows that we have more control over our success than we sometimes realize.
But even with the right rhythms
Mentors.
and a supportive environment,
There will be time.
when we face setbacks and challenges,
How do we deal with those inevitable bumps in the road?
Hardy encourages us to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth.
Okay.
He talks about the importance of stair-stepping your goals,
Stair-stepping your goals.
meaning that once you achieve a goal, you set a new, more challenging one that stretches you even further.
So it's like climbing a mountain. You reach one peak, enjoy the view, and then set your sights on the next, even higher peak.
But that also means accepting that there will be times when we fall short.
Times when we don't reach our goals or make the progress we hoped for.
Absolutely. But it's important to remember that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. It's
Huh.
feedback that helps us learn, adjust, and try again.
Failure is just part of the journey.
Hardy talks about failing forward,
Failing forward, I like that.
using our setbacks as stepping stones to greater success,
It's not about avoiding failure, it's about learning from it.
and using it to fuel our growth.
And I think that ties into the final point Hardy makes about gratitude.
He emphasizes that gratitude is the ultimate multiplier.
Gratitude is so powerful.
It's about appreciating what we have, celebrating our wins, and focusing on the positive,
It shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance.
and amplifies the positive energy in our lives.
So how do we cultivate more gratitude in our daily lives?
Start by keeping a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each day.
No matter how small or simple.
It could be a warm cup of coffee, a sunny day, or a kind word from a friend.
The key is to make it a habit.
To train your mind to look for the good in every situation.
Well, I think that's a perfect note to end on.
What's that?
The compound effect is always at work, whether we're aware of it or not.
It is.
And it's up to us to direct it towards the outcomes we desire.
You have the power to shape your destiny.
One small, consistent action at a time.
Start small, stay consistent, embrace the journey, and watch the magic unfold.
That's fantastic advice. Thank you so much for taking this deep dive with us.
It's been my pleasure.
We hope you feel inspired to harness the power of the compound effect and create the life you truly want. Until next time.